Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Now this may come as a surprise to some of you, but I hold the common belief that pimping out your child for fame and money is wrong. Of course I made the posts about Desmond and all, but people took this as me only hating on parents of LGBT kids who exploit them, when in reality it's horrible for all kids. I've made the point that most every celebrity who was a child star faces some sort of psychological damage now as an adult. It's just honestly so sad to me, and it really sucks that these children had so much potential to a good life, but their parents screwed it up for them.
Being a child actor almost never ends well. You remember that kid from A Christmas Story who got his tongue stuck to that pole?
Yeah, whatever happened to him?
I'll tell you what happened to him. He did porn. Boner from Growing Pains, dead. Screech from Saved by the Bell, porn. Corey Haim, dead. Dana Plato, porn, then dead.
Oh no, this is horrible!
You see, Stewie, there are tons of actors like this. They all started out just like you, but eventually they were destroyed by their parents' greed, drugs, or perverted Hollywood directors.
I understand the fame and money. Of course that can be good, but not for a child. Plus I'm sure the parents usually pocket all the cash for themselves anyways. But I'm getting ahead of myself. After all, today we're not talking about child stars. We're talking about children and beauty pageants. It's the same thing as being a child star with all the trauma and all, just without the massive fame. As always, I'm going to be super real with you guys and say that there is a lot about these pageants that really bother me. When you're a child, you don't have many rights. You live with your parents, they take care of you, pay for everything, and control your life because you're a young child and they decide what's best for you. This, of course, is normal, as it's common sense that children cannot provide for themselves. But deciding that your child will be a star can be very damaging. Children can't say no to their parents. Do you really think a 3-year-old child would choose to wear fake lashes? Or get their eyebrows waxed? Or perform some shitty routine that they clearly did not want to do? Of course they don't, but here we are.
The wax was way too hot and it actually ripped off her skin, so she's been kind of terrified ever since then.
Don't tear it!
It'll be just as wrong.
Don't tear it!
Almost done. She's done, honey. You're all normal.
There we go! Ooh.
How about we just give it a try? I don't like it. Doesn't feel comfortable.
It really accentuates your eyes.
I really want to slap these shallow, selfish parents in the face. I don't have any kids of my own, but when I do, you better believe that they will never be in a situation like this. I just think forcing your child into the spotlight before they can decide for themselves what they want is very toxic, and I don't really think that's controversial. I just want to take a quick minute to show you what kind of outfits these girls are expected to wear.
Those fishnet stockings.
Yeah, but they're not appropriate.
They're appropriate. You're in a pageant. That's fine.
I'm sexy and I'm nice.
There's plenty of potential for these girls to fall victim to the mentality that is self-hatred. Think about it. Typically around ages 3 to 6, children are just learning how to comprehend the world and other people around them. Being put on stage as a young kid, and I mean young kid, will definitely make you question your appearance and eventually even your purpose. It's human nature to compare yourself to others, especially at this age, and that's the whole point of a beauty pageant. It's basically who gets an award for being prettier, and being told, "I'm sorry, you're just not as pretty as the other girl," would hurt almost anyone. So imagine being fucking 3, the age where you literally cry when your parents tell you it's time for bed. And of course this will most likely lead to eating disorders, low self-esteem, and a long and destructive path into adolescence. Don't believe me? I'm going to show you an extreme example.
The San Francisco mom who is injecting her 8-year-old daughter with Botox to get rid of wrinkles. And she insists that she is not the only mom who's doing it. Lara Spencer spoke with the mom, Carrie, and her daughter, Brittany, in a GMA exclusive, and Lara joins us with that story. Hey, Lara.
Yeah, shaking your head. It does sound unreal. A mother injecting her 8-year-old daughter with Botox to prevent wrinkles the little girl thinks she has.
Me about the lines on her face and how, a lot of the moms there, they're giving their kids Botox, and it's pretty much like the thing. I'm not the only one that does it. A lot of moms do it.
Does it look better after you get Botox?
Yeah, it looks way better.
Of course, shortly after this story got attention, the mother claimed that it was all fake. After CPS got involved and the child was taken away. So obviously we have a selfish, dumb, shitty mom here who clearly thinks that her child is ugly and needs all the help she can get. So let's all predict how this child is most likely going to turn out in the future. It's so unbelievably sad to me. If your own mother doesn't even think you're pretty, how would you ever? According to sources, the human brain doesn't fully develop until age 25. So maybe I shouldn't be talking then because I'm younger than that, but I'm just saying children can't grow into a healthy manner if they're in this environment, especially in the most critical and sensitive time of their lives. I understand that pageant ages vary into adulthood, but a great deal of people being objected to this are young girls, thus my emphasis on them. Another concern is predators and potential abuse. This is something I was deeply concerned with regarding Desmond, and I'm going to say something that needs to be said. You don't know who's watching your child. You don't know who's in the audience. You don't know who's potentially grooming your child behind closed doors. I don't think these moms ever sit in the audience and know everyone in the room. There's plenty of terrifying statistics that inform us how common child abuse is, and I can't imagine being in a competition based around sexualizing children isn't contributing to them. I'm not accusing anyone of anything, but I'm just saying I'm sure there have been cases of pageant kids who were molested, and they're being put in this position by their parents. And although at pageants, members of the adult audience are not handing their children money directly for their performance, but there is still a cash prize and trophy. It's ultimately saying, go show off your premature body to a group of strangers, and if we like it enough, you'll get a couple $1,000s that your mom can spend on golf lessons for herself. Which leads me to my next point. More often than not, it seems like the child does not want to be competing in pageants at all. It's almost always the mothers pushing them to do it. So what do the parents do in order to get them to cooperate? They try bribing them.
I've made promises to her that if Carly does well, she's getting a kitten.
Doesn't feel comfortable.
It really accentuates your eyes.
If you're one, thank you. Then you are the I'll get you. Think about the cat.
I think this is just sick, and honestly, it could count as mental torment. Thank the Lord I was never put on stage like this, but if I was, and my parents tried bribing me, all I would be thinking about is not letting them down. I would tell myself if I lose, my mom won't love me anymore. And given the stress that these young girls are under, that's probably what a great deal of them are thinking. I'm fortunate enough that at this age I played with dolls. I didn't look like one. So what is my solution? Well, if freedom of expression didn't exist, then I would just say ban them. They serve no benefit to our youth and waste a significant amount of money. But since I value the First Amendment, I would just simply advise you not to enter your child in one. And if you know someone who is putting their child through this, I recommend that you warn them of the possible negatives that could come of it. And guys, don't get me wrong, I'm sure some good can come of this if done properly. If your child is of age and able to consent to this. If you keep a close eye on her activities and make sure that no one has ill intentions. If you make sure that her confidence and value as a human doesn't plummet, then yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm just saying, like all things, this has to be done carefully. Children are unable to comprehend and process all this stuff they're being subjected to. They don't understand, and rightfully so. Teach your child self-love. Make sure that she knows she's beautiful, but her appearance doesn't dictate her life. Tell her that her value is what her brain is capable of. Tell her she has an amazing future in store. Tell her how precious and valued she is to you and the family. Once again, I'm not a parent, but that's just what any half-decent human would do if they were one. Thank you all very much for watching and recommending that I talk about this. I'm sorry it took so long, but I'm really glad that I did it. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.